LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking to pass and blitz. We're talking to jump and switch. We're talking to pitch and miss. Cleat space, kick space. You come to the right place. Beat bait. I don't need to see others, so I'm straight. Cause they're not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuned into Legacy. Check the flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the match? Legacy. You want a legacy. You build a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell, Owens, and Jay Quimby.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 276 of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. I'm your man, Darrell Owens, and with me, as always, the man, the myth, and the absolute legend, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. What's up, Jay?
We back.
We back, baby. We are back. We're sitting here May 17th, here on the wonderful, glorious year of 2021. We're here to bring you some, just to get down to on some stuff on the NFL today. The NBA playoffs have started. The NHL playoffs have started. Baseball season is starting to pick up a little bit here. So we're getting a chance to see a little bit of everything.
Yeah, getting a little bit of normalcy back, but this moves. Keep it slow.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how it all can work
Country
out.
Shots says, "What's up, brother?
What's up, Country Shots, man?"
How many names you got, bro?
It's like a missionary, man. That man got a little bit of everything going on.
I'm just giving you shit, man.
Yeah, man. So look, once again, we're glad to have you all here with us today. We're going to break down a lot of good things, and we're going to talk some NBA Hall of Fame and all that fun stuff. But unfortunately, we got to start off with something I don't want to talk about, but we got to talk about it anyway, and that's Aaron Rodgers' dilemma out there in Green Bay. There's so much going on with this situation right now, Jay. We truly do not know what is going down in Green Bay. We've heard so many stories. We've heard a little bit of everything. We've heard that, he's upset with the team and that he doesn't want to come back because of the way the front office. I've heard that he wants the front office fired. You name it. We've heard it. A little bit of everything.
But, now, see, this is reminiscent of what happened with your last quarterback you had.
Yeah.
Aaron is, I could see another 2 years easily of him playing at this level. So, if you're Green Bay and you're smart, which, sorry, bro.
You already know how I feel. You already know how I feel.
They would keep him. They'd make him happy. Hell, they waited till, the third or fourth round to actually draft a viable wide receiver.
Exactly.
It just don't make sense to
But
me.
I will say this is one of the first times in a minute that I've gotten one of the players that I kind of wanted. Amari Rodgers was one of the guys that was kind of high on my list. We got him exactly where I would figure we would get him, maybe second or third round. So I'll take it. It made me happy to see that happen, but it's not going to be fun if Aaron Rodgers can't throw to Amari Rodgers. I got to see that. For me, I have to see that.
It'll be the second time you had a Rodgers.
Isn't that crazy? And spelled the exact same way. This time we got an A-Rod and an A-Rod. So, I like it on the fronts that I think that, Green Bay at least did address that. They had a way better draft than they did last year. They didn't draft as many offensive linemen, but obviously we lost some people, so definitely needed the offensive linemen. So it's a combination package,
But I like the way that they went getting Myers,
Mm-hmm.
sticking with that pedigree, because Myers can play all three inside positions.
Right.
They got some of the guys from last year that have developed. I like them. But the big key, I saw it big time, was what Bakhtiari needs to be healthy. If he's not healthy, y'all, FUBAR.
Yeah, getting him back to where he was is going to be a very big thing for us. That's something that we have to get back on the right front. We just have to. We have to. They've struggled. Even we drafted 3 offensive linemen last year. We lost Lindsley, which was tough. Then we went out there and last year we lost Balaga. They're both all in LA now with the Chargers trying to keep Justin Herbert upright. I think, but the biggest thing for me in this whole situation is getting Aaron happy. And then what will they do with Jordan Love? Because that's a whole nother element. Like, do you keep Jordan Love? If you decide to keep Aaron, do you trade him?
No, you got to keep him because you made that investment. That's where a lot of teams now, the win now attitude is really screwed the pooch of the program of what they were doing. Because
hmm
Sam Darnold, 2018 draft pick, he got traded for like a basket of Oreos
Yeah, yeah.
to the Panthers, and he wasn't bad. He just didn't have anybody to throw the damn ball to or protect him.
And that's the thing that kind of just like it wows me because yes, we actually had, if you look at it and people make the argument, we had like the number one, number two offense in the NFL. But I mean, and number nine in defense. And so, like, you look at that, and everybody's like, "Well, wait a minute, you got the pieces." But I think it's not about the team itself. Yes, the media makes it about, "Oh, we need this player, we need this person." You never go after somebody. Yes, that's part of it. But the other part of that is they don't include him in on any decisions. And I know you say like, "Well, why does he need to be included?" Maybe, but how many superstars get that inclusion into the situation? The Tom Brady's, the LeBron Jameses, the Michael Jordans, all of those big time, big name people get some say in or at least they're told what's going on. Devin Booker. Then this is not a slight at Devin Booker. Devin Booker is one of the nice up and coming rising stars in the NBA. All right, and
Yeah.
he's been an all star, or at least he should have been an all star this year. Devin Booker gets like the Suns come to him and say, "What do you think about this?" The least they give him, and that's what Aaron wants. He wants
And
respect.
where are the Suns at now for the first time in a long, long time?
Yeah, they're sitting there at the two seed, man. It's like
So,
they got it. They've been trying to creep up with the Jazz, but Chris Paul's done wonderful things. We'll get that in a little bit later. But that's my whole point. They talked to their guy. They blindsided Aaron with the Jordan Love thing. They didn't even tell him. They didn't even say, "Hey, look, man, we're going to draft a quarterback."
I mean, and that's one thing with the Bucks. They talked to Tom about what they were looking for.
hmm
With each pick, they let him know, and they're like, we like Kyle Trask, we like what he can do. I wasn't high on him. I don't think he's got the arm strength, but he is very similar in his ability to make the passes as Brady.
Right.
So and minicamp, I watched so much video of him. He looked great in minicamp.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like I wish, I'm hoping that Green Bay can kind of figure this thing out. They did sign Blake Bortles. They did sign Ken. Oh God, what's Ken's last name? He used to play at UVA. Ken, Bert Hurt or Bert Cart. I could don't give me destroying it.
But I remember your man crush on Blake Bortles, and now
I did, man. But see, but the man crush was more like I thought that he had a chance to do good things, especially because after that 17 year, when they went to the AFC Championship game, I'm like, man, Bortles got a chance to really blossom this year. And what did he do?
Who was the running back?
Fournette.
Eh.
Fournette was the guy. See, that's the thing, man. Like, I just wish that Green Bay had found a way to get this thing on the right foot, or they figure it out. They have to figure it out. And then all these people, oh man, look who they brought in their quarterback. But Green Bay was going to bring in veteran quarterbacks anyway for camp to try them out. They did lose their backup quarterback to Detroit, who's backing up Jared Goff now. And if they still don't feel 100% on Love, who should be at that rookie camp, why are you at the house, sir? In my opinion, he should be out there showing what he has. Especially with all this dilemma going on right now, I would want to be out there.
Well, yeah, because then you up your value to other teams like possibly the Texans, who they did draft Mills,
right?
But nothing's guaranteed in the NFL anymore.
No, not at all.
I mean,
not at all. So,
even the Saints.
Yeah.
You want to watch 30 picks in 3 hours? Watch Jameis Winston.
And I saw something that Jameis Winston is working out with the Indiana quarterback that's supposed to be a high draft pick next year. I thought about you, and I wonder what Jay would say about that.
Well, that quarterback that they have, Indiana's head coach is a whole different level. The way his enthusiasm he plays with. I mean, the man has had more injuries from celebrating with his players. Like, he forgets that he doesn't have a helmet on. I've seen him headbutt another player.
That's crazy.
And he had to get stitches because I really love what Indiana and that coach has done for just that program overall. Jamar Johnson, their safety that came out, I loved him. I would have been happy having that any Big Ten player on my team, but
Right. Well, like I said, we'll see. How everything kind of works out there. Green Bay's got a lot to figure
oh
out.
Jesus,
They've got a lot to figure
Blake
out.
needs to move to tight end. Really, it's not.
Why would he go to
Tim,
tight? I
Tim
mean,
Tebow.
he's a pretty big guy. I don't.
He's saying that because he jumps from the Bengals to the Jaguars, and now he's on the Jaguars because Tebow is the tight end now.
But Tebow, which let's. But we're going to talk about that in the next discussion here. We're looking at the next thing here. We got the NFL update here. We're going to talk NFL draft recap and then also schedule release. Give our top games that we're kind of looking forward to during next season. I mean, there should be some really fun ones next
This
season.
is going to be, in my mind, so far, probably one of the, knock on wood, better seasons because with people coming back healthy and everybody trading, you got the Foxborough buyout. I mean, they paid everybody guaranteed money, $180 million.
I've never seen them spend that much money. Never.
No. But anyways, it should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it should be. Now, you mentioned Tebow. So, there's been a huge controversy amongst people saying that, oh, man, look at this, Tebow's back. What about Colin Kaepernick? And I understand why people are upset about it because Tebow's been out of the league, 7, 8 years, maybe? I can't.
Yeah,
because he's 33 now, so he's been out of the league for a minute.
He's been out of the league for a minute, but he's doing a change of position, so
Right.
he's going to be a tight end.
Right.
And we know he can catch. I mean, hell, he played for the Mets.
Exactly.
So he's still athletic, but Tebow, to me, for what I see is you're bringing a leader in to a very, very young team, and a guy that a lot of people look up to. He was the first one to get shit because every time he would do something good on the field, he would thank God.
Right.
And let's give him crap about that. The reason that Kaepernick hasn't signed back is if you look at Kaepernick's last couple games that he actually played,
Right.
they were shit.
And to be honest with you, he did not look great going back into that. But I think that people, I'm not going to say it's a stretch, but this was more of a, hey, I'm Urban Meyer. You used to be my quarterback. He convinced Tebow to come back to play because then it also gives him another element of Wildcat. Tebow obviously maybe not the way people are like, but he can throw the football. So
Right.
It gives you a different element. It gives you more of a trick type thing going on there. So Tim Tebow coming to Jacksonville, I don't think is the same as a Kaepernick thing. Everybody's like, oh, how does he get a spot first? Look, he changed the position. He's not if he was going in to be a quarterback, I could see more of the anger. But he's going in as a tight end because he's not going in there for the reason you think.
But if you look, Kaepernick was the better quarterback.
Yes.
Of the two.
Yes,
Absolutely.
most definitely.
But I mean, leadership wise, I'm gonna honestly say because you watch Kaepernick fall apart in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, Tebow is the guy that will you screw up, he'll talk to you, get you center. Tebow's a good. Okay, that's gonna come out wrong because I understand why Cap did what he did, but football wise, this is a smart move for them.
I mean, it really is because you don't lose anything out of it. You're not going to have to spend a lot of money. We all know what type of athlete Tebow is. Now, Kaepernick, on the other hand, do you think? All right, let's put it this way: do you think that they would have signed Kaepernick if he switched positions?
But what if he moved to tight end? He's built differently than Tebow.
Right.
That's the whole thing.
Exactly. I mean, if you're going to move Colin anything, you got to move him to receiver.
Exactly.
If you're going to move him to anything on the offensive side, I mean, I don't think you can go
or possibly H-back.
Yeah, he'd be a really big H-back. He would definitely be Eddie George size on that bad boy.
But I mean, besides that, there's nothing else he can do. So I mean, and right now everything's about win now. And like I said, you look at his last couple games. My honest opinion, Cat, he's done. He will never play in the NFL again.
Cap doesn't want to play. I've been saying that for the last couple of years.
Well, didn't he get a huge offer from a team and he turned him down?
He turned down a couple of years back, probably before all the last bit of stuff. I think he turned in the contract. Then he did what he did about a year or two ago. I think he wanted the NFL teams to see that he still had it, which I appreciate.
The tryout where
but the tryout
with the scandals,
right? So I mean, I look at it, and to me, he has nothing to gain from going back to the NFL. Why? Because if he goes back and he does bad, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, you were right. But now that he's where he is at, people will always have that mystery of, man, he should have had that opportunity.
What if?
What if? And on top of that, that helps him out because guess what? Colin Kaepernick is bigger than football now. He's not. People who don't watch football know Colin Kaepernick. You know, even for whatever reason, they know him. Like he has changed him. Okay, yeah, I played a couple good years in the NFL. I made a Super Bowl. You know, made a Pro Bowl or so. But guess what? Nobody talks about Kaepernick in that form like talk about. They talk about everything he does outside. He is nationally known on the microphone.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the whole other thing. What sideshow is he going to bring? Tebow, he went to the Mets, did his thing. Yeah.
I mean, the worst thing that you're gonna hear from Tebow is as soon as he takes his first knee, that'll be a meme because you already can see it. The Tebow meme right beside the Colin Kaepernick.
This is okay. This is
why is this okay? Why is this not? So I mean, I'm telling you, just be prepped for it. So it's all coming. I mean, but in the end, I like the move for Jacksonville. I mean, you just don't lose anything out of it.
I agree 1,000%.
Exactly. Now, other NFL things going on. We can talk about this real quick. Deshaun Watson situation doesn't seem to be getting any better.
That's what I mean. What's going on? I mean, I've lost so much track of because there's so much circus shit going on. Where are we at on it?
I mean, it's crazy because I mean, the last time that I checked on it, they said that they were talking about a settlement, and that or at least somebody has mentioned a settlement, and then they're like, oh man, there's not going to be any settlement. So it's a combo package of you hearing a settlement, you're hearing this. But let me ask you, do you think he plays this year? Because it's starting to look like that. Might not be the case.
No, the thing that gets me is if you're the Texans and you remember the first when Watson said he wasn't happy, why the hell didn't you trade him for that plethora of picks you could have?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, and see now, I'm not gonna say that he is damaged goods, but it comes across that maybe he's damaged goods. Like,
But you said he's damaged. It's not that he's damaged, but his reputation, his name, has that little,
thing right on the top of it. Yeah, it's like, that's the case. So it's
Ray. Okay, country shots. Ray Rice
and Watson. Now, so when you say that, when you bring up the Ray Rice thing, Ray Rice to me made his mistake. It was openly seen. We all saw the video. He tried to rectify it. Eventually the NFL couldn't hold him back anymore, but he didn't get signed. So he, was blackballed out of the league. But the one thing I've always said, and we talked about it in the show many a times, what I liked about Ray Rice, he owned up to it, and he went out there and tried to make a difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always going to get looked in the eye that, look at you, Ray Rice, look what you did. But he tried to rectify it. Honestly, tried to rectify it.
Aren't they still together?
As far as I know, they're still together.
But see, then you run into, on the other foot, Greg Hardy. Body slammed his girlfriend on a bed full of guns.
Crazy stuff.
But he's still playing.
He still got another opportunity, and he was playing with the Richmond Rough Riders here in Richmond. Exactly. So, like, he still had opportunities to do stuff in the league. So, I mean, it's a touchy subject. I think he plays this year. I think somehow, some way, even if it's like towards the middle of the season, I think he plays this year. I hate to see if everything is not, bad. I hate to see him lose a season for something potentially he didn't do.
It's once again where, call me, yes, I'm old-fashioned, but everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
And all we've heard is this, he says, own up to it if you fucked up.
Right.
Rectify it.
Right. Agree 100%. I mean, that's just something that you got to do on that end. So we'll see what Deshaun Watson situation ends up. Let's talk some draft, man, because, the draft was a couple weeks ago. We got a chance to see. I mean, it was overall. What did you think about the draft? Because I thought it was a pretty good draft for the most part.
It was the thing that this draft will go down as is this will be the always whether you drafted a quarterback or you drafted Billy Bob, whatever. This draft is one of the hardest drafts to ever. This was a crapshoot. That's all it was.
Right.
Because you had very little tape from the college football season to go off of, if any, on like certain players. And then, there was no combine. It was all workout days. And then health issues that, we talked about Jeremiah Akakuazuza.
Where's Lamont when you need him?
I know, right?
Where's Lamont when you need him?
He was a lock to be a top 10 pick.
Right.
And he fell all the way to 59.
Yeah.
Because of heart issue that was reported and scared teams away. He lost. The Browns gained,
Yes,
in my opinion.
beautiful for the Browns.
Yeah, but he lost out because of not having that there. People with Little, the tackle that was drafted by the Jaguars,
Right.
he was a top 5 player, injured his
And
knee.
they got him like 4th round.
Yeah, well, Mayfield, the other tackle from Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
he fell to the 4th round. I mean, these guys were considered top 5 players, like if they would have come out healthy, but they didn't. They got hurt. The medical, if they were to check off, and then we didn't have the workout warriors. You gotta love the workout warriors because some of them, Vernon Golston, don't do shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt Jones,
you see the workout war, you start to get excited. I mean, let's see. A couple of years ago, Montez Sweat was, and he's been doing pretty decent in Washington. So I mean, it's like
Well,
you get them every year, and it's always like, okay,
Davenport.
John Ross,
Yeah,
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 a couple of years ago. So I mean, it's always hit or miss. It's more, I think, it's more intriguing for us as fans because it's like, man, look what he did in the combine, man. Like, what are you gonna do next?
you just laugh at John Ross for the fact of that he didn't have Nike cleats on because you could have your own island, bro.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, the Giants signed Ross, I believe, in the offseason. They just signed Kelvin Benjamin to play
And
tight end.
they moved him, but I saw a picture of him. He looks the tight end type now, but his body is just definitely
Transform.
Exactly, because when he was with Carolina, he had gotten that belly and just looked really out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
Slow, wasn't running good routes. Tight end, they could have a steal here, but I mean, what's the worst? They got another tight end that can't catch.
That's the worst scenario. I mean, overall, I like what the Giants have done. I mean, they did pick up Tony in the draft, another receiver. I mean, they're primed to. Like I said, the NFC East is going to be way better than it was last year. Way better.
Yeah. What did you see Tony's first day at okay rookie minicamp? He played with one shoe on
That's crazy.
because his cleats weren't fitting. He tried with socks, different socks here, different socks. Finally, just said,
You know what? Forget it. I just got just me and the sock. Let's go.
But he had one cleat on one foot, no cleat on the other foot. So I'm like, okay, go training
So
staff.
you do what you got to do, right? I mean, like I said, overall, I'm excited. To see what this Giants team do this year. The Dallas Cowboys went all defense on their end pretty much. I think they drafted one offensive lineman and I think a receiver, but
The offensive lineman is definitely very much a Dallas Cowboy type because he's
Right.
got so much off the field issues. It's not even funny.
I mean, we know what Dallas does.
But it makes you wonder about Vanner Hesh and Smith because they're both in the final year of their contract.
And then they drafted a linebacker first.
Yes.
So one of them.
Well, they drafted 2 because they got Darrell Cox.
They did. So now you look at this. The Cowboys, if they decide to sign one of them back, I think they signed one, but not the other. Somebody's going to be gone.
I really think it's Vander Esch because he kind of has the Sean Lee thing. He can't stay healthy. And Sean Lee retired finally. I mean, I hope nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, it was time though. Sean Lee was starting to get up there. I mean, he had been around for quite a bit, and
Mac Jones, bust of the draft, and I don't mean draft beer. I'm going to plead the fifth on that because I agree. I don't like, how I feel.
see, it depends on here because I think this is the perfect pick for New England because he is not the most mobile quarterback. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady by any of the sense, but he does come from a pedigree of winning. And, he's got that connection with Nick Saban. They've been friends for a long time.
How many players did they draft from Alabama, Dan? I think at least 4.
At least 4. They've been drafting Alabama players for years. Between them and the Washington football team, they've just been battling for Alabama players. Stephen Atkins says this, and then we didn't get a chance to talk about this yet, but we'll talk about it now. Ryan Kerrigan to the Eagles happened this morning. He left a message on Instagram thanking the Washington fan base, and now he's going to the division rival with the Eagles. Now, there were 2 other teams that were interested in him.
What up, Becca?
Pittsburgh and the Bengals. But I think he went to the Eagles because I think he wants to still prove a little something to the Washington football team.
I wouldn't doubt that, but it makes when he left, it was kind of like when you see trying to think of a player like that. When Champ Bailey got traded,
Mm-hmm.
it's that feel like, he was the cornerstone for 10 years.
Right.
2011, he was drafted first round. So, I mean, would have been nice to see him right off in the sun with the team. He we've talked. He's a great human being. Wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fun to see. And Kerrigan has always been one of those guys that has just been kind of like, he's just tough. He got the all-time record last year for the Washington football team. He got that last year in I believe it was week 1. And he was able to get, break that record. He's the all-time sacks guy in Washington.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Chase Young keeps going, that record won't be there.
I mean, the way Chase Young is, he's amazing. I can't wait to see year 2 of Chase Young. I can't wait. I mean, hopefully this season we'll be back in the midst up there in Washington. They got some good games. But now that's something we got to talk about.
Yep.
The games they got at home. This is just at home. They got the Chargers. They got the Bucks. They got the Chiefs. They got the Saints. and they got Kansas City. And then I think they also play the Bears. I could be wrong on that, but they've got a list of just like, they played Green Bay this year. So they got a really tough schedule. I mean, they were the number 1 team. Since they won the division, they get a number 1 team scheduling. So we'll see how that rolls out.
But now, see, for me, I'm more interested at the quarterback position. Where they go quarterback-wise will tell you where they go with the rest of the year, honestly.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, they were the hardest team that we played in the playoffs with Heineke.
Right.
And who the hell was Heineke?
He was out there balling, man.
I mean, he knew what he needed. I mean, he proved it. So, but then they bring in Captain I come off the bench.
Captain I come off the bench.
What'd you do?
I don't know. All right, I think we're back.
You're breaking shit, bro.
I know, man. All right. But yeah, so I looked at it overall and said just, what Washington does this season will be truly, truly intriguing.
Because if they build upon what they had, it'll be good. But if they regress, I don't think we see Ron Rivera for another year.
Yeah, I mean, they can't, man. If you look at what they've done, just in the offseason in general, I think Rivera has really done this the smart way. They brought in the safety from Miami the other day, Bob McLean. What a great pickup. And he's only on a 1-year deal, but it's a great pickup.
But you put him beside Curl.
Right.
And, I mean, because that was one of the things that I was kind of upset because they had a chance to address it in a couple of the rounds. They didn't. Not with a player that I saw, but I didn't see Curl being that good of the safety prospect either.
Yeah, I mean, so then they still have Landon Collins there. And I've heard they may use him at linebacker. Now, he's not thrilled about that.
But he's also older.
Right.
And, kind of lost that first step that he used to have.
Yeah, I mean, so that to me is like you look at it and say, all right, what will they do here in the next year? But I'm excited to see them this year.
Yes.
They're a team I'm excited to see this year. Now, games that you're excited to see because they released the schedule last week.
Do you want to go first on this?
I mean, I'll go first. The one game that I'm excited about, and to start the season off with it, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Love you, Becca.
People gonna be mad at me right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it because Cowboy fans don't like when I jump on their bandwagon. But it's not me, y'all. It's not me that disappoints them. It's y'all. It's the Cowboys that disappoint. So look, right now the NFC Championship game in my mind is Bucks and Cowboys. If I had to say right now, and probably people yell at me, that's fine, whatever. That's why I said this first game is intriguing to me. I want to see how this goes. I want to see if we're going to see the $45 million man, come back from the injury, look just as good as he did in those last 3 games before he got hurt. I'm intrigued to see what he does with that offense.
Who's their backup now? That Dalton's gone.
Oh man, they drafted a quarterback too, I think. No. Oh my goodness. They oh my God, I can't think of the guy's name. They did sign someone. I thought they signed somebody in the offseason. It's going to bother me now because I didn't know. But Jay will look it up for me. But I like this matchup. And to me, it's a potential NFC championship game later on next season. Other matchup, if he is there, keyword, if he is there, I got to go with Packers versus Chiefs. I mean, this is Holmes versus Rodgers. We haven't gotten it yet. We thought we were going to get it 2 years ago, but Mahomes got hurt. And so Aaron went in there and threw that crazy touchdown pass in the back of the end zone to Jamal Williams, which I still don't know how that happened. So looking at that aspect, that's one game I want to see. Another one would be, and this is the battle between the first and the second pick because they're always going to be kind of, tied together. And that's Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars taking on the Jets. That'll be another one that I'm intrigued to see. I want to see how that one kind of plays out. So, for me, those are kind of like the ones. Oh, and I'll let you get this one.
Oh yeah, week 4, Tampa Bay goes into Foxborough.
Yes.
Where if I could be wrong, but I think if Tom Brady beats the Patriots, he will be one of only 3 quarterbacks to beat every team in the NFL.
And isn't that crazy?
Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. Oh, actually, he'd be 4 because Drew Brees. He's beaten every team.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that.
What the hell is
Stop
we
acting
doing?
up. I don't know what the sound doing today. But I look at that and say, well, they're primed to do big things. This Buccaneers team.
Now, quarterback wise, they still got Cooper Rush.
That's who it was.
They
Cooper
got
Rush.
Garrett Gilbert from Cleveland, and DiNucci is still there.
DiNucci. Now Gilbert came in last year and was it him or DiNucci that came in and had a really good game? I think it was Gilbert.
It was Gilbert. DiNucci came in and got blasted.
Yeah.
He got destroyed, man.
It was crazy. It was definitely crazy. But I like. I saw DiNucci play against Richmond one time. He didn't do too bad. But Gilbert had his run in the AAF, and then he came in Dallas, did well in that one game, then he got hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll give the reins. I know they got Rush there too. So Dallas backup quarterback situation isn't sexy.
Now,
but we'll see.
The other game that I'm interested in is week 1 matchup is the Cleveland Browns against the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the Browns really, rehauled that defense. They brought in Clowney. Richardson's still a possibility to come back. Greg Newsome, and then the linebacker from Notre Dame. That defense has the potential to be a top 5 defense.
Agreed. So it's for me the Browns, they like you said they got Jeremiah, just a steal. This guy we're talking about a top 10, top 15 pick.
Look who they're also getting back though, because in the secondary, Grant Delpit and Greedy Williams were both hurt all year.
And they're going to get them back to go alongside with
Denzel
Ward.
This is a dream for them.
If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, and I know you don't want to get crazy excited, but you got to be excited. You got to be excited just a little bit. This is crazy. They're set up for success. So, that's going to be a good matchup. That's really going to be a good matchup.
Yep. So, besides that, a lot of them are going to be Kansas City games. Green Bay Packers versus the LA Rams.
Should be interesting.
Matthew Stafford with defense is going to be damn difficult for you guys.
Yeah, I'm not excited about that. It's the days of Detroit that kind of make me smile. This one doesn't make me smile at all. So I'm definitely intrigued on that one. I just want to see how that goes. I'll throw this one out there because of what happened today, but I want to see once the Eagles come and take on Washington and how Kerrigan, if he plays any role in that game or if he plays any type of big role in that game.
Well, just looking at their defense, the way it is right now, they're still looking for that pass rusher that they haven't had since Trent Cole.
Sheesh.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Trent Cole was a one-man wrecking crew by himself, and they've been trying to find that replacement, and they really haven't been able to put it on there. They drafted, Nick? Oh, let me just look it up.
I'm not even going to try to destroy it. I know who he drafted, but I don't want to destroy it.
No, they took him in the first round. And,
Nick Barnett. No, that's wrong, Barnett.
Nick Barnett. Will you stop with that shit? No, that's really, I'm going to hurt you.
I didn't do that. I'm just sitting here.
I saw you wiggling them.
Just because it made the noise. That's why.
Let it make noise. What'd you do?
I'm sitting here. Look at it. Standing still.
Derek Barnett.
Derek Barnett. Okay, yeah. They got him a couple years ago.
And Fletcher Cox has been Brandon Graham's still there. And, he was drafted in 2010. He's not
getting in the league that long. Wow, time is flying.
They traded, let's see. They got I thought Josh Sweat would come on. So, there's really nobody to stop him from playing and leading this team in sacks. Nobody. I got lost with all these new kids in the NFL.
Now wait a minute. Do the Colts play do the Colts play the Eagles at all? I don't think they do.
I don't think they
But
do.
if they did, that would definitely be on my list. I'm not 100% on it, but if they play each other, that'd be on my list. I want to see how Carson responds if that's the case.
I just want to see how Carson. I mean, their wide receivers, if they're healthy, are great down there, and they were able to bring in a good tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And the Colts, with all the dysfunction that's going down in Houston, if the Colts do not win this division,
It's crazy.
they need to fire everybody.
Yeah, because the only other team that compete with them in the division would be
the Titans.
the Titans, and the Titans fell off a little bit based off of how their offseason is went. This is their division to win. I mean, if they can't get this right,
The Titans really messed up because I don't think they really got a true number 2 to replace Corey.
they didn't. I mean, they picked up Josh Reynolds, and
Josh Reynolds was a great slot receiver.
I can't think of the other guy, but they picked up one other person. But Josh Reynolds was one of the guys that they picked up, and I'm just like, I mean, that's decent, but I don't know if that's what you're going to need to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Colts division to win. I mean, they've got too much talent.
No, it's theirs to lose.
There you go. It's theirs to lose, and they got so much talent on that team. I'm just waiting to see how they go and conquer that bad boy again, if they go and conquer it again.
I mean, I'm looking. Des Fitzpatrick was their first drafted wide receiver in the 4th round. Josh Reynolds is in the slot. Nick West Inokayo, I don't even know.
Great.
Look at that.
I don't.
Westbrook in a
Oh, that's right. They still got they got AJ Brown, but that's about it. And then so losing Davis is kind of big. And then the other person they lost is Juno Smith, so that hurts them too. But I mean, I think that and I'm not gonna say Adam Fister. I could be saying Fister, but if for fantasy, for fantasy value this year, y'all, I think he's gonna be a good person to draft a little bit later on as a backup tight end, maybe even as a starter, because I think Ryan Tannehill will go to him.
Well, Tannehill. Damn, they still got Logan Woodside. There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Robin, we need Rob to preach the good word of Logan Woodside. Haven't heard that bad boy at all.
Because I mean, just looking at, there's so much unknown on this defense or offense. I mean, and then defense side, they've got Caleb Fairley. Can he stay healthy?
That's gonna be huge, and he had back problems too. That's a tough one. That's a real tough one for Tennessee. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot going on in the NFL.
All right. What do we got next?
I just can't wait to see what we got. Now, let's go ahead and swing to the NBA. The NBA's got some really good things going on here. The playoffs start tomorrow. Yeah, the playoffs start tomorrow with the play-in games. And these play-in games.
Now, explain to me how these damn things.
So it's all right. So this is very intriguing, and I'm gonna pull up the graph where everybody can see this online. This is where this bad boy stands. So in the West, or in both leagues, the first 6 seeds will clinch a spot. All right. Then not in your normal pass where the 7 and the 8, but the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th seeds will go at each other. The 9 and whoever wins the 7 and 8 battles, they get the 7th slot regardless. They get that 7th slot.
Okay.
And then the loser of the 7 and 8 game will take on the winner of the 9 and 10 game. So pretty much and here's an example. Let's say you got Lakers and Warriors. If the Warriors win, they get the 7th slot. The Lakers would take on the winner of the Grizzlies and the Spurs to see who gets the A spot. So that's how they kind of did it. It's very intriguing to me. I kind of like it. I want to see how it plays out. But
it just sounds like a whole bunch of more extra games.
It is. I think they did it because they had such success in the bubble doing kind of the same thing, but this time they spread it in this form. So I'm looking at this chart, Jay, and I'm looking at this game, the first game. I'm gonna look at the West. You got Lakers. You got the Lakers taking on the Warriors, which should be a great game.
Now, we were talking 6 months ago, and I told you the Lakers and the Warriors would be at the bottom of the West. You tell me
I'll tell you crazy. I had the Lakers as a number 2, and then I think I had Lakers at number 2 or number 1, and then I had the Warriors at like 4. So we're going to get a lot of action here. But in that game, I got the Warriors winning that one. I think the Warriors will win that one and kind of move on.
Nothing would make me happier than seeing LeBron James not make the playoffs,
Mhm.
or he's in the playoffs technically, but
Yeah.
not make the playoffs where it matters.
So then you look at the next part of this, and then you got the Grizzlies and the Spurs, which I think the Grizzlies are a good young team. I think they'll win that. So then you'll be looking
The
at
Spurs have been playing non-Popovich
basketball. It's a different dream. It's not the same thing. So if I had to choose the two teams I think will come out of the West, I'm gonna say Warriors and Lakers. I think that ends up happening. The Warriors will be the seventh seed, Lakers will be the eighth. But if you're the two seed, if you're Phoenix, you're like, man, this sucks. I gotta go against LeBron in the first, or even LeBron or the Warriors in the first round. Come on, man. If you're the two seed, if you're the one seed Jazz, you still ain't got an easy one. Because then you got to either deal with the Lakers, the Warriors. It's going to be fun to see. Then in the Eastern side of things, the Boston Celtics, the 7th seed, taking on the AC Washington Wizards, and then the 9th seed Indiana Pacers taking on the number 10 seed Hornets. Now the Hornets at one point were number 4, but they fell all the way back. They got LaMelo back, but I think it was a little too late.
Right.
But they're still in the mix. If I had to, just based off of what I'm seeing here, the Celtics and the Wizards are playing great ball right now. The Wizards are going to win that one. They're gonna go be the 2 seed. I mean, go be the 7th seed, and then I think the Hornets will beat the Pacers, and then Hornets will go ahead and beat the Celtics because the Celtics are falling apart.
I know hindsight's 2020, but remember how pumped I was, at least for you guys, to get Victor, and now he's
hurt.
He's hurt, but he's 2 years hurt.
But the good thing about that I think, if you go back and look at it, the good thing about that for Miami is I'm glad that they see the injury pattern now because this is a guy they've been covering for the last 2 years of signing him. And so you got him in the trade and you didn't have to really spend that much. But now you see that he's consistently hurt. This has been 2 years in a row where he's hurt. So you don't have to go and spend some of your big money on Oladipo and knowing that he's probably going to be hurt.
What was up with your dude the other night? Getting back and then
let me tell y'all something about my
double
man.
technical.
Udonis Haslem had a plan. He went in there to ruffle Dwight Howard's feathers, and he did just that. And I don't think he didn't care. This man hasn't played all season. He's literally a coach. He's a player coach right now.
He went in there to piss somebody off. That's all he did.
It was great.
I saw it. I was just like, damn, dude.
It had me giggling.
Tell him what's up.
I said that's what I'm talking about right there. Get in him. But yeah, so it should be a fun, bracket, especially with the playing games. Tonight, just to give y'all a heads up, 8 o'clock, myself and Ty Montgomery are going to break down this playoff thing. So Ty's going to give you all the insight on how this looks. So y'all make sure y'all check us out at 8. We'll check him out because this is going to be doing all the work. I'm just going to be there talking. he's gonna do all the work. He's
like
gonna
what we're doing right now.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm the talker. Jay does all the work. I'm just here. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Oh shit.
So I look at that. That should be fun tonight. Make sure y'all check that out. Next, we're gonna head over to the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, which they had over the weekend.
All the feels.
All the feels, man. The Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, obviously Kobe Bryant. They had Nancy Lieberman. They had a whole group of just these wonderful people who have changed the game of basketball for us. But tell me you didn't like semi shed a tear when you saw, Vanessa Bryant up there. I mean, I got to see the what do you call it? I got to see the display room that she had for him on when I was scrolling on the internet. It was so beautiful, man.
It was.
It's touching.
And, for her, she said that she always spent all her time, talking to Kobe about keeping him level-headed. And she's like, now I'm here talking about his legacy and what, he's looking down and saying, yep, tell him, girl, tell him. And it was moving for me.
I mean, it's great, man. It made me so happy.
It's one of those things, she also said, asked him a long time ago, why do you go play hurt? And he's like, I think about the people that I know that has saved up a whole bunch of money to come watch me play one game.
Right.
Why would I not? I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about
I mean, what a guy. I mean, he's right. If I paid all that money, like I did the time to see LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh at the same time, and none of them suckers showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the feeling, and as a fan, I appreciate that. I appreciate you caring enough about us to say, look, man, I got to play. Somebody wants to see me. That one time that I see him play may inspire that kid to take it to the next level.
Exactly. But see, that's the thing, is that Kobe was one of the few athletes that realized that the fans are the only reason that the sport exists.
Right, right. And then what I like about all of this is what we've seen in the last year since Kobe's death is not how he just inspired men's basketball players. It's like the world of the women basketball. Of the WNBA, Sabrina Ionescu, who was the number one pick in last year's draft. She was one of Kobe's mentees, I guess you can say, and he meant a lot. She meant a lot to him. He meant a lot to her, and so you got to see her go out there and ball out in her first game of the season. And so it's just like Kobe Bryant was more than just a basketball player; he was a mindset.
Exactly. But you say Kobe Bryant, it wasn't what he affected in basketball. He was the one person that walked the walk along talking the talk. I mean, he did it, hands down, don't matter. His legacy is what everybody can dream that their legacy would be.
Exactly. If you can get that, then you're going to be like, wow, I had that moment. I had that moment. So congratulations to Kobe, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan. There was a lot of great. It was great.
Duncan looked a little rough, didn't he?
Duncan is chilling in this second part of his career, man.
I just looking at his hair, I was like, bro, what's up? Because Tim Duncan, I know, is always like clean cut, lines down.
He done went full blown dreads and everything. Now speaking on that, we'll talk real quick about the 2021 class. They announced this.
Mind.
Yes, I mean this class is pretty solid. You got Rick Adelman, two-time NBA champion. You got Chris Bosh, the 11-time All-Star and two-time NBA champion. Paul Pierce, who got in trouble over the last couple of months with some crazy stuff. Bill Russell as a head coach, he's in as a player and a head coach.
That tells,
The first black head coach to get in. Ben Wallace, the first undrafted free agent. Hey, right here in the Richmond area.
I was going to say, where he from?
That's right. Virginia Union all day on that one. So congratulations to Ben. Yolanda Griffin, who was one of the pioneers of the WNBA, playing for the Sacramento Monarch, 7-time NBA, All-Star. She was amazing. And then Lauren Jackson, who was a 3-time WNBA MVP out there for the Storm. And she was so good coming out of Australia, man. And so this class is pretty good class.
You didn't say the number one that I was like, Chris Webber.
That's right. My fault. Chris Webber's also in this class.
Because people have been on, why is Webber not in already?
Took him 8 years, but he's in. Tony Kukoc also gets in. Now
I don't like this one. Now I'm a Bulls fan.
Right.
But if Kukoc gets in, there should be so many other players that should be in.
Yeah, but the basketball Hall of Fame is different because they do recognize that international side. And Tony Kukoc didn't get in for his time with the Bulls. Yes, he got 3 NBA championships, don't get me wrong. But he got in because of what he did internationally. I mean, Croatia, that's how he got in. It's like Sabonis.
Well, yes, but you look at that. I mean, Divac set that tone 10 years before Kukoc.
That's true.
So, I mean,
don't worry, he'll get in eventually.
Well, but see, I don't know. And especially watching that the Jordan documentary, and learn more about Kukoc, you kind of lose some respect.
Yeah, that whole Tony Kukoc thing was a little bit interesting. There was a lot of beef, but you didn't realize how much beef they had going on between each other, but they had quite a bit. So, all right, next we're going to go to our MLB update and talk a little bit of baseball here.
Yeah, you know what you get? This right here.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you know why that?
I know.
Why did you get that?
Didn't we sweep y'all this weekend?
No, actually, you didn't sweep us.
We won the series, though.
You won the series, but the first game, Zach Plesac had a no-hitter going in the 8th inning, and you guys ended up, we won 4-2.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sorry.
I've been the first no-hitter since '86.
I'm sorry.
Well, and think of all the great pitchers that we've had.
Mm-hmm. CC, Cliff Lee, you had Kluber. I mean, you had some studs there.
Yeah.
Some studs there, and I do apologize for that, but I'll take the wins wherever we can get them.
That's fine.
You know, I mean, I still don't.
I think we're still in like second place.
I think I was still in second. We were at first, but as you know how it goes, we started all good, started to twinkle. They're playing good. We called up one of our prospects.
You called up two of them.
Two of them. We got the pitcher. I want to say Gilbert.
Mhm.
He pitched, I think, the other day, and then we had.
I want to hear you say it.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to say it right. I think it's. I'm not even. I think it's like Kuchinichi.
Kuchinichi.
All I know is he smacked the home run, and I was like, "Yeah, my guy. Go ahead and get the party started." I'm Kuchinichi.
That's great.
But looking at the standings, let's look at the standings real quick.
Kuchinichi.
The White Sox are at top of the Central with 24 wins. They only got a 2.5 game lead over Cleveland. Boston is leading in the East, but they're only leading by this whole division is tight. The Baltimore is only 7 games out. Tampa Bay is 2 games out. The Yankees are 2 games out. Toronto is a game and a half out. In the West, Oakland is 25-17. Houston is a half game out. The Mariners are 3 games out. The Angels are 6, and Texas is 7. And then swinging over to the National League here, St. Louis leading the way. They're 23-18.
The NL East looks like that NL East again.
It's been that crazy. What is going on with the East teams?
I don't
So,
know.
I mean, looking at this real quick, the Mets are 18-6,
Team.
and then 8-16. The Phillies are 21-20. Atlanta's 19-21. Miami's 18-22, and Washington's 16-20. Somehow, some way, Washington's only 3 games out. This division, everything to me is screaming parity right now. You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
seeing it all across the board. Heck, the Giants are leading in the West. And in San Diego, then you got LA, Arizona. It's been so fun to watch so far. You know what I'm saying? Just baseball has just been it's wide open. Anybody can get this thing.
Absolutely, but I mean we're still very early. But then you still got things like Albert Pujols
Yeah.
going to the Dodgers. You want to talk about the new Yankees? These are the Yankees of the West Coast.
Right.
Just because, hey, come play with us. We don't care. I mean, I love Albert. It's good to see him.
Mhm.
I really wanted to see him go back with the Cardinals.
I mean, it would have been nice. I was hoping that too. I mean, finish your career there. They said they were in talks, but I'm pretty sure the number, just didn't match up.
As much money as that man's made, who gives a shit about money at that point?
How nice would it have been? See Pujols come back with the Cardinal uniform on for the first time since leaving. It's almost been like 9-10 years. I didn't know he was there that long.
I know.
I didn't know he was there that long.
It's crazy because I remember watching Allison is a huge Tigers fan, and what the Tigers always seem to play the Cardinals there for a stretch in the World Series.
It just hurt him.
Yeah, because Mickey.
That's all. I mean, looking at that, I'm excited. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, y'all. This microphone's driving me nuts. But
I think it's me. Look.
Look, people are looking like, what are they doing? We're checking for the sound. We'll figure it out.
Is that Little Richard?
But I like where baseball is going right now. If you look at it as a whole, like anybody can win it, man. And it's so early in the season, but it's so competitive right across the board. Nobody's pulling away. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's pulling away.
And it's weird because we're getting close to the trade deadline. Don't be shocked if we see like some really crazy ass trades.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Because use my Indians as an example. We have one of the best pitching lines in the entire league, but our offense, besides Jose Ramirez, sucks.
It's crazy.
We couldn't score with a blind hooker.
Not with the blind hooker though. Not even the blind hooker giving you love.
No, I mean we're that bad.
Oh man.
Well, we traded Lindor. He's doing dismal with the Mets, and I'm glad, but no wonder they didn't give us shit for him.
Yeah, I forgot who I was talking to. I was Teron Davenport, ESPN. He was like, man, Lindor got to get his act together, like yesterday. Like, he said the $30 million man, per season got to start hooking things. I was like, I know, man. You pay. It's just if you go back and look at it, paying a player their money has not really panned out.
Yeah, but we offered him 23 because small team.
Mm-hmm.
Offered him 23 for 5 years, and he turned us down. But you know what? He played a hell of a lot better in Cleveland.
But that's how it is when you're looking for the money. We've said that for years. Even
Kirk Cousins,
Pujols, yes, Pujols was still productive in LA, but they didn't make the playoffs.
they were not.
They brought him in to help push that thing along, but they never made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Robinson Cano when he was there with us, I mean, had some really solid seasons. But when you're having those type of, we expect playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You expect that type of stuff, and it doesn't happen. Bryce Harper sitting in Philadelphia. What are you getting out of that? Yes, they're in second place now, but
very nice beard.
That's what I'm saying. So if you look at those things, and it makes you start to wonder, just a little bit. You're like, all right, can they get this together? But I digress.
Oh, Courtney or Country. God, you got to change your name. Saw Albert in Memphis with the Redbirds, and that'd be fun. I went and watched Squirrels game here in town once when I first got here when Jose Ramirez was doing his comeback from an injury thing. Oh, God, it was so good.
Well, the good thing now is I believe here in Richmond, they've switched over to the Washington's affiliate. They're no longer San Francisco's affiliate. So that's a positive. Okay. Yeah, that's a positive for us because, we'll get to see the Washington pipeline. So, I mean, I'm intrigued to see it.
I mean, because we've done a couple Orioles games, but, I mean, the Orioles are much better than when we went and saw them.
I'll tell you what, they look great. I mean, great for what we thought they would look like, if I should say. They started up the season pretty hot, so. But yeah, baseball is warming up, so we'll bring you more updates on that as that comes along.
I know there's not a lot of you that enjoy baseball, but
I mean, we love it. We're going to talk about it. I mean, it's sports. We're going to talk about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for.
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
Look, does it just play through there?
It just plays through there.
Oh, thank God!
I knew I couldn't wait to see your face. He's gonna be like, "You were ready for it, though."
Dude, that's fucked up.
You were ready for it, though. That's hilarious. He was like, "Oh, no. All right, please."
That's cold.
It's cold as ice. Long ago. Oh man. So, in the next thing here, we're gonna do our cash or trash on our first topic, and our first topic that we're gonna talk about in cash or trash is Mr. Robert Horry. Robert Horry has been a stud.
Big shot
Bob. He's always made big plays in big situations. And now, as we sit here and kind of figure out what's the next step for Robert Horry, because we keep hearing, Rudy T even said it. He should be a Hall of Famer. And that's the question, man. Are we cashing or trashing that Robert Horry is a Hall of Famer?
Okay, well, you brought up, Tony Kukoc, Hall of Famer, because of the international thing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make any of the shots. So Horry should get in just because of all the bling, but also, I mean, ice cold veins.
I mean, yeah, and there was a big argument on Facebook. Facebook fun for arguments.
Oh yeah.
There was a big argument about it, amongst one of the groups I'm in, and I mean, look, if he got in, great. If he doesn't, great. I'm good. I don't have a real passionate feel on this a lot, but I will say this though: he's been in the final 7 times. He got 7 rings. So if he's definitely a good luck charm, if anything. But it's not like he didn't contribute in those championships. Like he was always some part. He wasn't the major part, but he played a huge part.
You always think of big shot, like he doesn't put up Steph Curry numbers when he would play during the season, but he was making Steph Curry shots in the playoffs when it mattered.
Right.
So
big time shots. I mean, that's who he's always been. I mean, with Houston, with the Lakers, and with San Antonio.
Yep.
Big Shot Bob just made shots. So I cash it. I think he should get in. I mean, because I feel like he's got the talent. Or yes, he's a role player, but sometimes role players deserve love too. And obviously, he's 7 for 7. The only modern player that have 7 rings. All the other ones are those Celtics teams that had like 8 to 9 to 10. Bill Russell had 11.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes, you probably be like, well, wait a minute. If championships matter in so many other leagues when it comes to the Hall of Fame, why don't they matter in this situation? Plus, the Basketball Hall of Fame, as you can say, with Kukoc, it's international. It's your whole career as a basketball player. It's not just, you did this in the NBA. Tony Kukoc wasn't no all-star in the NBA like talking about. So, I mean,
exactly.
I
mean, once again, listen to us.
Right, that's what I say. The next cash or trash one, and we just finished talking about it, but we'll bring it up more. Albert Pujols. Um, Jay, will Albert Pujols be what I guess the Dodgers need to get kickstarted again?
The leadership that he brings, just hearing him talk, he might be that missing piece to help them get on track. I mean, yeah, they did it last year,
Hmm.
but I mean, honestly, with the way that team was stacked, they should have 4 rings right now.
Yeah, most definitely.
So,
They should be the dynasty that a lot of people were thinking they should have been a dynasty. So for whatever reason, it just didn't click. I like this move, but if anything, I mean they got so much talent on that team. He's really only going to be like a DH in situations, in my opinion. Like he'll come in, he'll get bats late in the game, he'll pitch hit. I don't see him
so
coming.
do you think this is just a ring chase for him now?
Why not? I mean, he's got rings, but
I
I
know,
mean,
but I
I
mean,
mean, he might want to add on to it. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
oh,
That's
absolutely.
that's a gimme. But I think he wants to get to 700, and he's getting closer to it. I think he's like 30 home runs away from 700.
He should have, at the rate he was going when he went to the Angels,
Hmm.
he should been already to Bonds numbers.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, if not at Bonds, past Bonds
Yeah.
by now. I mean, and went to the Angels and things just changed. I mean, that's the best way that you can put it.
The pitching is better in the AL. We've always said this.
That's right. That's right. It's always been better. I mean, and then they don't have to worry about hitting, so it just kind of just gives them the edge to just focus on pitching. That's just how it is. All right, so that was cash or trash for us on this one. Are you cashing or trash? I don't even. We just got excited.
I'm gonna I gotta trash it. I don't like I said. I wanted to see him go with the Cardinals.
Me too. I like I was saying earlier. I would love to see him walk back out with that Cardinal uniform and see the ovation he would have gotten, but if he was there. So unfortunately, we don't get to see that. But it is what it is. Well, everybody, that is it for episode 276.
It makes you wonder if he played with Fernando Tatis Senior.
Hmm.
Junior's playing now at an all-star level.
Right.
So does Pujols not have any kids that play baseball?
I don't even know. Somebody got to step up.
That's all I'm.
Yeah.
Well, because I remember the first time that I ever really paid attention to Albert when he was first coming into the league was the game where Tatis is the only person to ever hit a grand slam or 2 grand slams in 1 inning.
Yeah, I remember that. And it was crazy when it happened. And I was like, man, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And I think his son hit 2 grand slams in the game, but they weren't in the same inning.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it makes you wonder because we're seeing, like, even in the NFL, because Lorenzo Neal Jr. just signed with the Saints. We're seeing so many of the, when we were kids
coming out and they're playing now. And it's crazy to see. But you got to root for them because like you used to root for their parent or respected their parents' game. It's always kind of cool to see. It's always kind of cool to see.
Yeah, especially when they play better than their parent. So that means they listen to
people. Right. If you can take it to that next level, then you know you've done what you needed to get done.
Absolutely.
Well, everybody, that's it. Episode 276 of the Legacy Maker Sports podcast here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Real quick shout out to all of our shows and stuff on the network. I'll name a few. I'll let Jay name a few. Of course, tonight, myself, and Ty will be coming to you with some NBA breakdown before we get to the postseason.
So is it not the Big Ballers?
So we're going to check that out tonight. Got to give love to, Commonwealth Sports Talk. They're on a break right now, getting set for season number 4. They got big names coming through.
Oh, yeah.
Who else you want to give shout out to?
Oh, of course, Becca.
Yeah, right, of course.
Monster Minutes every Sunday. I mean, she's sick or not, she's putting the work in. So, and then I know I've only done it once, but my
yes, right. And that's dead round of applause. Look, let me tell y'all something, man. Me and Jay been talking about this for years, and Jay's like, I gotta break out and do a little something. He wanted to do something individual. It did a really good job, man. It was a great show. Sit back and listen to the your draft picks and Jay breaking everything down. So make sure when the next episode, break away with Jay Quimby. Look for more to come. We've got Vic Sports Talk, who's presented by Legacy Maker Sports.
Hey, I'm gonna talk to you PGA people. Leave Vic alone.
That's what I'm saying,
man. They always come after me.
Yeah, man. Look, not on YouTube, but on Facebook, they were like,
They're like, no, sir, that club is not owned by you.
Exactly. So, I mean, they've been kind of coming after us a little bit for that. So, we do apologize on that end, PGA. But make sure you check out the great show. Rob Johnson does a lot of good stuff on the network.
Rob is always buzzing.
I mean, everybody's. I mean, I'm gonna miss somebody, but you know, the guys, we do care about everything.
We need to start getting, and I think we're getting ready to bring back Legacy on Fire.
Yes, season 2 should be coming up soon. Be ready, y'all. Season 2 is gonna come up soon here. Probably in June is when we'll start it back up. We got everything kind of winding down from the season of 101s, which I got one last episode of that, and then we'll be going to Legacy on Fire. So whoop whoop whoop.
I missed that.
And this time though, Legacy on Fire is probably going to come to you live. I don't think we're going to do it the way we worded. We're coming live, fresh out the box, so y'all can come in there and debate with us.
What's going to be great about that? You won't be done.
I'm getting a fancy one. I got a plan, and I'm gonna buy this big old. It's gonna be loud.
I got a plan too. I'm gonna buy a fucking hammer.
But we're gonna be ready for it. Once again, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to the Legacy Maker Sports Network's podcast here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. I'm your man, Darrell Owens, Jeremiah Quimby.
Peace.
Until next time.
God bless.